So good day, we are the group 5 and the assigned topic that we will be discussing is about portfolio management. So when we say portfolio management, it is the selection, control of an organization's programs and projects in line with its strategic objectives and capacity to deliver. So the goal is to balance the implementation of change initiatives and the maintenance of business as usual while optimizing return on investment. So a fully integrated portfolio management must consider the asset allocation issue from the unique perspective of the individual investor. For example, changes in personal wealth often alter the investor's risk tolerance. Some investor, if a portfolio increase in value, will be better able to tolerate risk. The increase in value act as cushion against downturns. Other will become more conservative because portfolio gains make it possible to bear less risk in order to achieve financial objectives. So, in simple terms, portfolio management means picking the right mix of investment based on what each person wants and can handle. When someone's wealth changes, their willingness to take risks can change too. Some people might feel more comfortable taking risks when their investment grow because they have a safety net if things go wrong. Others might play it safe when they see their investment grow, preferring to protect what they gain rather than take more chances. So, good portfolio keep an eye on these changes and adjust the investment to fit each person's goals and situations.
Changes in risk tolerance are highly personal because each investor responds differently to fluctuations in wealth. Therefore, a fully integrated portfolio management system is crucial. It optimizes investor utility by initially crafting an asset mix that balances risk and rewards appropriately. Additionally, it continually monitors the investor's changing circumstances to ensure the portfolio remains aligned with their goals, distribution needs, and financial situation. This ongoing adjustment helps to maintain a suitable balance between risk and return as the investor situation evolves.
Asset allocation approaches. As a practical matter, asset allocation can follow one of the several strategies. First is tactical asset allocation. Tactical asset allocation assumes that the investor's risk aversion is fixed. Consequently, wealth changes do not affect allocation decisions. However, asset price changes do affect capital market expectations, future expected returns, risk, and market correlations. Several well-known portfolio management approaches flow from this viewpoint. At the extremes, it leads either to strict contrarian strategies or to market timing system. Ang tactical asset allocation ay isang investment strategy na kung saan ang mga investors ay active sa pag-a-adjust ng mix of assets sa kanilang portfolio to take advantage of short-term market opportunities or to mitigate risk. Sa pag-a-analyze ng mga various indicators tulad ng economic data at market sentiment, ang mga investors ay maaaring dagdagan ang kanilang exposure to asset classes expected to perform well and mabawasan ang exposure ng mga hindi magagandang nangyayari. This strategy can potentially lead to higher returns and better risk management. It also requires accurate market predictions and involves higher transaction costs due to frequent trading.
Strategic asset allocation. Strategic asset allocation determines the investor's desired exposure to sources of systematic risk. It is based on the belief that capital markets are generally efficient over long-term planning horizons. An efficient market rapidly incorporates all known information regarding economic and financial matters into the current price of a security. Thus, any current asset price represents the consensus opinions of the asset's value. There is really hidden value waiting to be discovered by an astute investors. Price changes occur because new information causes a reassessment of the asset value, or there are more liquidity sellers than information buyers. Under this theory, then the prices of securities are exactly what the market requires to clear. Once the asset allocation mix is set, the portfolio remains fixed for relatively long periods of time. Among the asset management approaches that flow from this viewpoint are buy and hold and constant mix, which periodically rebalances back to the initial asset allocation strategies. So this means that strategic asset allocation is a long-term investment strategy that involves allocating your portfolio across different asset classes such as stocks, bonds, and cash. The goal is to find a mix of assets that meets your risk tolerance and investment goals. Strategic asset allocation is based on the belief that capital markets are efficient over long time horizons. This means that security price already reflect all available information, so there is no easy way to outperform the market by picking individual stocks. Instead, the focus is on asset allocation, which can help you reduce risk and achieve your investment goals.
BCG Matrix, or otherwise known as Boston Consulting Group Growth Share Matrix, is used to represent a company's investment portfolio. Large corporations usually face problems in allocating resources among various units and product lines. To cope with this problem, in 1970, Bruce Henderson designed a matrix for the group called as BCG Matrix. And it is based on two factors, which are the growth rate of the product market and market share held by the company in the respective market in comparison to its competitors. BCG Matrix is a business planning tool used to evaluate the strategic position of a firm's brand portfolio. The BCG is one of the most popular portfolio analysis methods. It is designed to help with long-term strategic planning and to help a business consider growth opportunities by reviewing its portfolio of products to decide where to invest, discontinue, or develop products. It is designed to help with long-term strategic planning and to help business consider growth opportunities by reviewing its portfolio of products to decide where to invest, discontinue, or to develop products. It is also known as growth or share matrix. The BCG matrix is used to help companies analyze their products portfolio by categorizing them into four distinct categories based on their market shares and their largest competitors. These four categories include cash cows, dogs, question marks, and stars. Each category represents a different level of market share and growth potential. Market growth is thought of as a presentation of industry attractiveness, while growth rate is a proxy for products' competitive advantage. It can help them allocate resources, prioritize investment, and decide which products to invest in and which to divest. Also, this tool assists in efficiently evaluating available opportunities and devising strategies to optimize their potential. It also helps companies determine how to deploy cash resources best to maximize future growth and profitability. This matrix provides a framework for allocating resources across different products and allows a glance comparison of the product portfolio.
For the next slide, which is the BCG matrix, this helps the corporation in analyzing the product lines or business units for prioritizing them in allocating resources. The model aims at identifying the problem of resource deployment among different business segments. In this approach, various businesses of a company are classified on a two-dimensional grid. The BCG matrix, also known as a group share matrix, and it's a planning tool used by corporations to analyze their product lines. And here's how the BCG matrix works. Number one is the market growth rate. The y-axis of the matrix represents the rate of market growth. This indicates how fast the market for particular product or business unit is growing. The next one is relative market share. The x-axis of the matrix represents the relative market share. A product represents the business or business unit. This indicates the company's market share compared to its competitors in the same markets. The next slide, which has two questions. The vertical axis shows market growth area, which is a measure of how attractive the markets. The next is the horizontal axis indicates relative market shares, which is an indicator of how strong the company position is. Based on the table, there is a quadrant which is a dogs. These are products or business units with low market shares and low market growth. Next is the cash cows, and these are products or business units which has a large market share but low market growth. They generate a significant amount of revenue and profit of the company and are considered stable and reliable. And the vertical axis on the graph typically represents the market growth rate, which is a measure of how attractive the market is. It indicates the rate in which the market is expanding or growing. On the other hand, the horizontal axis represents relative market shares, which is an indicator of how strong a company position in the market. It shows the company's market share compared to its competitor and help assess the competitive position. So the vertical axis shows the market growth rate, and with horizontal axis indicates together provide with a valuable insight into the attractiveness of the market and the strength of a company's position within that market.
With the help of this matrix, the company can ascertain 4 kinds of strategic business unit of products and flows. First is stars. It represents those products which are growing at a faster rate and requires the huge investment to maintain their position in the market. Ito nga yung environment na nagsasuggest para mas ma-expand yung customer demand and opportunity for the market penetration. At ito nga din yung sinasabi natin upang mas ma-maintain yung position nila sa isang market. The second is cash cow. The product whose growth in low but holds high market share. They reap a lot of cash for the company and do not require a finance for expansion. Ito naman yung nag-generate para mas steady yung cash flow with the little needs for investment. At ito din yung nagpo-provide ng isang funds for other areas of the business. Second is question marks. It indicates those products with possess a low market share in high growth market and so need heavy investment to hold their share in the market but do not generate cash in the same proportion. Ito naman yung substantial investment upang tumaas yung market share pero hindi ito always na nagsasucceed. Then last is dogs. Dogs represent those products which neither have a high growth rate nor high market share. Such a product generates enough cash to maintain themselves but will not survive in long term. So, ito naman yung last ng strategic business unit or product. They may generate just enough revenue to cover their costs but are often candidate for the divestiture or discontinuations.
Definition of G matrix. GA matrix, alternatively known as General Electronic Model, is a business planning matrix. The model is inspired by traffic lights which are used to manage traffic at crossings, wherein green light says go, yellow says caution, and red says stop. The matrix comprises 9 cells with 2 major dimensions which are business strength and industry attractiveness. So, ang business strength ay nai-implementasyan based sa result ng market share, brand image, profit margins, customer loyalty, at technological capability. Samantalang ang industry attractiveness naman ay nai-implementasyan ng pricing trends, economies of scale, market size, market growth rates, segmentation, at distribution structure.
When various product lines or business units are drawn on the matrix, strategic choices can be made on the basis of their position in the matrix. Product falling into green section reflects the business is in the good position, but product lying into yellow section needs the managerial decision for making choices, and the product in the red zone are dangerous as they will lead the company to losses. So, the GE portfolio matrix is a tool to decide how to invest in different parts of a company. It considers two things. First, how strong a business is, and second, how attractive its market is. So, the GE matrix is a 3x3 grid with business strength on the vertical axis and market attractiveness on the horizontal axis. Each axis is divided into high, medium, and low. So as you can see in the figure, green, if your company falls into the green section, then it means these are the star businesses, strong in a high growth market, and they should receive the most investment for further growth. So when your company falls into the yellow section, these are average businesses in an average market. So investment should be focused on maintaining profitability. If your company falls into red section, these are weak businesses in a low growth market. They are the worst performers in the portfolio and are strong candidates for divestment. Conclusion. To sum up, we can say that the two models are similar, but have some differences that cannot be ignored. While BCG matrix is simpler to plot and easier to understand, GE matrix is a bit difficult to draw and interpret. However, it is free from certain limitations of BCG matrix. Overall, BCG matrix is easier to understand but less comprehensive, while on the other hand, GE matrix is more powerful but requires more analysis.